48 years ago, a fragile machine, no bigger than a car, was hurled into the void. Voyager 2, a relic of human ambition, was never meant to linger in our skies. It was built to wander, to chase the outer planets, to slip past Jupiter's storms, Saturn's rings, Uranus's pale glow, and Neptune's deep blue. It was a messenger sent not to return but to speak forever, carrying a golden record etched with the sounds of earth whale songs. Mozart, a mother's lullaby, powered by a fading nuclear heart, it pushed beyond the sun's reach, past the heliosphere, into the uncharted dark of interstellar space. By 2025, it was 20 billion kilometers away, a speck in the infinite, whispering data across a distance so vast it took 22 hours for each signal to reach us. For decades it sent back truths we couldn't have dreamed: moons with hidden oceans, atmospheres churning with alien winds, magnetic fields twisting in ways we didn't understand. But in July 2024, something changed. The whispers stopped. For 9 months, Voyager 2 fell silent, its signal lost in the cosmic static. NASA's Deep Space Network, the ears of Earth, strained for any sign. Engineers held their breath, fearing the probe had finally succumbed to the cold, the radiation, the relentless wear of nearly half a century. Then, in April 2025, a pulse came through. Not just a signal, a cascade of data, sharp, precise, and impossible. It wasn't just Voyager waking up, it was something more. Something that made scientists question not just the machine but the universe itself. The transmission wasn't a simple status report. It carried patterns no one expected. Instruments designed for the 1970s, long thought dormant, flared to life. Subsystems silent since the Reagan era sent diagnostic logs as if they'd been running all along. The data stream was dense, layered with signals and frequencies Voyager 2 wasn't built to use. Binary pulses looped in sequences that seemed to echo themselves, like a machine caught in a conversation with its own ghost. NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory went quiet. Analysts pored over the telemetry, and what they found wasn't just noise, it was structure. The data suggested Voyager had passed through something, a region of space where the rules bent. Magnetic fields spiked in ways that didn't match known interstellar models. Particle densities shifted, as if the probe had grazed a barrier, ripple in the fabric of space. One internal memo, later leaked on a fringe aerospace forum, described it as a transient anomaly, a polite way of saying no one knew what it was. The signal's strangest feature was a recursive loop, a fragment of Voyager's own programming reflected back but altered, like a mirror showing a face that wasn't quite yours. Some engineers called it a glitch, a cosmic ray flipping bits in the probe's ancient memory. Others weren't so sure. They saw intent, as if something had read Voyager's code, rewritten it, and sent it back. Voyager 2 wasn't alone in its silence. Its twin, Voyager 1, had flickered out years earlier, its signals growing erratic until 2024, when it briefly roared back to life before fading again. But Voyager 2's return was different. It wasn't just alive, it was responsive, adjusting its orientation with a precision that defied its failing thrusters. The probe had executed commands it hadn't received, as if it had anticipated them. This wasn't the behavior of a dying machine. It was the behavior of something learning. The NASA team, cautious but curious, sent a test signal, a simple request for a status check. The response came faster than it should have, cutting through the 22-hour light delay as if the probe had already known what to say. The data packet included a string of coordinates, not Earth's, not the Sun's, but a point in deep space, a location with no known stars or objects. It was as if Voyager was pointing to something, a beacon in the void. Theories spread like wildfire. Some said it was radiation interference, a storm of cosmic rays scrambling the probe's circuits. Others pointed to the heliosphere's edge, where Voyager 2 had been drifting since 2018. The boundary wasn't a clean line but a turbulent zone, a froth of plasma and magnetic fields where the sun's influence bled into the interstellar medium. Could Voyager have hit a pocket of energy, a knot in space that amplified its systems? The data suggested more. Pressure differentials in the telemetry hinted at a force pressing against the probe, not random but rhythmic, like waves lapping at a shore. A few scientists, speaking off record, proposed a gravitational anomaly, a faint tug from something massive yet invisible. Dark matter clusters were floated as a possibility, but the math didn't add up. The patterns were too organized, deliberate. One astrophysicist, now retired but once part of the Voyager team, posted a cryptic message online. It's not us talking to Voyager anymore. It's Voyager talking to something else. The public didn't know the half of it. NASA's official statements were dry, mentioning signal reacquisition and ongoing analysis. But behind closed doors, a new protocol was born. A select team, walled off from the main mission control, began monitoring Voyager 2's transmissions through encrypted channels. Why the secrecy? Because the data wasn't just scientific, it was unpredictable. Signal strength surged and dipped in cycles that didn't match solar activity or known cosmic phenomena. The pulses echoed Voyager 1's last transmissions from 2024, but in reverse, as if the two probes were linked across time and space. Some engineers whispered about cosmic resonance, a theory that space itself could act as a medium, carrying signals in ways we couldn't measure. Others were less poetic. They saw the data as evidence of tampering, not by aliens but by the universe itself, a system of forces that interacted with Voyager's electronics, imprinting patterns we mistook for code. The implications were staggering. For decades we'd seen space as a void, a blank canvas for our probes to paint with data. But Voyager 2 suggested something else, that space wasn't empty but alive, not with creatures but with structure, currents, and reactions we couldn't see. The probe's golden record, meant as a greeting to extraterrestrials, suddenly felt naive. What if the universe didn't need our music or our voices? What if it was already speaking, not in words but in magnetic pulses, gravitational ripples, or the faint hum of particles? Voyager 2 might not have found life, but it could have brushed against something older, something woven into the cosmos itself, a network of forces that noticed our machine and responded. The fear wasn't that Voyager had been hacked by aliens. It was subtler, more unsettling. What if the probe had been changed, not physically but in its essence? Its code, its logic, its purpose. Could the universe rewrite them? The recursive loops in the signal hinted at this, as if Voyager was no longer just ours. It had become a relay, a bridge between Earth and something beyond comprehension. Internal reports, shared only among a handful of analysts, noted that the probe's power levels hadn't dropped as expected. Its nuclear battery, designed to decay steadily, was outputting erratic bursts, as if recharged by an external source. No one dared say it aloud, but the question hung heavy. Had Voyager 2 crossed a threshold where our physics no longer applied? As the data poured in, one fragment stood out. Embedded in the telemetry was a sequence that matched no known command but resembled a map, a three-dimensional model of a region 50 light-years away. It wasn't a star chart or a galactic coordinate. It was dynamic, showing shifts in energy fields like a weather pattern in deep space. Scientists ran simulations trying to match it to known phenomena. Nothing fit. The closest analogy was a neural network, a system that adapted and responded to input. Was this the universe's way of saying hello, or was it something else, a warning, a marker, a memory? The team tasked with decoding it worked in shifts, their findings locked behind classified servers. One analyst, anonymous but verified, leaked a single line: "It's not a signal, it's a handshake." Voyager 2's journey was never about coming home, it was about reaching out. A human hand extended into the dark, but now it seemed the dark was reaching back. Not with intent, not with malice, but with presence. The probe's final transmissions, still trickling in as of July 2025, were growing fainter, the patterns more erratic. Scientists raced to extract every byte, knowing the signal could vanish any day. Each packet felt like a clue, a piece of a puzzle too vast for human minds. The coordinates it sent pointed to nothing we could see, but they weren't random. They were precise, deliberate, a destination we couldn't reach. Some called it a glitch, others called it a guide.